What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Fall Obsession podcast episode. My name is Sam Thrash, and I am your show host over here at Fall Obsession Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. This week is what I call one of our in-house podcasts. That's kind of the term I'm using to talk about episodes that we record with our own people here at Fall Obsession, our own team members, our own staff members, our own admin. And we have a bunch of awesome conversations throughout the years with this group of people, and it is kind of that original hunt camp feel, that we all know and love with some of these episodes and these organic conversations. I love recording with guests, and we've had some awesome guests on the show in recent weeks. But this week, I'm sitting down with our staff manager, Todd Sellen from Michigan, a good friend of mine, and we're going to talk about kind of some of the stuff that we got going on here at Fall Obsession right now. We're going to recap some of our 2023 season highlights and significant moments and successes, failures, all that good stuff. And we're going to talk about kind of the seasons and the summers, routines, turkey hunting, all that stuff that we're coming into right now, including our 2024 turkey hunt competition, which if you guys haven't heard about it yet, you got to go to fallobsession.com and look it up. I'm going to give you some more details in this podcast episode, and there's plenty of info on our website. But we're hosting a virtual turkey hunt that you can enter in and submit whatever bird you kill from wherever you normally hunt. You don't have to travel anywhere. You don't have to buy any non-resident licenses. It is literally your normal hunting that you do every year, but now you can enter to win a bunch of cool stuff when you kill a bird. So we talk about the details for that in this episode. And again, you can go to our website, fallobsession.com, to learn more about it from there. Lots of awesome stuff that Todd and I talk about in this episode, and I'm going to save it for then. But before we get there, I got to hit a few things, as you guys know. And the first one is Hoot Camo. They are a podcast partner. The guys down here at Hoot, they manufacture camouflage patterns and camo and outdoor gear. I've worn their gear this past year in the 23 season in Colorado, in Texas, in the snow, in fields, in plains, in hardwoods, variety of different environments, and the pattern is remarkable, how versatile it is and how much it adapts to different environments, and the gear is just unbelievable, the quality of this gear, guys. Like, I have beat my stuff up. Gear that I've worn in the past would have been torn to shreds with some of the stuff that I've walked through and had to do with this Hoot gear, and there's not a thread loose on my Hoot camo. I am not exaggerating that at all. I will show anybody. Not a thread loose. It is held up incredibly. It's very durable. They make stuff that is very adaptable to cooler weather. They make stuff that's very solid in those, they make stuff that's cooler for you when you're in warm weather. Let me get it right here. And they make stuff that is very solid and holds up well in those cold temps as well. So Hoot Camo, they're the guys to go check out, hootcamo.com. You can use the code FALLOBSESSION15 when you order from them, whether it's getting a full set of gear or just getting some casual everyday wear. They got that on there too. You can save some money at checkout with that code FALLOBSESSION15. So go check out Hoot Camo today. Ridge Rock Hunt Company is another podcast partner. Derek and Lacey over there in Mississippi, they book hunts with vetted and trusted outfitters across the country. Derek has a very large network of outfitters that he works with on a regular basis, and they wouldn't be a part of his organization if he wasn't willing to hunt with them himself. So if you're looking to book that next hunt, if you've been saving up for a once-in-a-lifetime adventure or just something different that you want to do, something you've had your eye on, give Derek a call. He'll work with you on timeline, licensing, location, every detail you can think of, and he will find something that is right for you. Ridge Rock Hunt Company, Derek Eves is the man. Go check him out on their website and on social media. The Outdoor Call radio app is another podcast partner. Outdoors Dan from Respect the Game TV, he created an app that you can download on any device where you can stream hunting shows and podcasts on a loop every single day. You will catch Fall Obsession podcasts playing on that loop on Mondays, the same day as our new publications, as well as tons of other hunting shows and podcasts that we all know and love. So go download the Outdoor Call radio app today. It is free. You can start streaming immediately. And go follow Outdoors Dan on social media. He does a couple of different live broadcasts at local Midwest radio stations every week. And even if you're not local to those stations, you can catch those live broadcasts on his Facebook. He shares them on his Facebook Live. So go download the Outdoor Call radio app today. and go follow Outdoors Dan on social media. Last but not least, I always appreciate you guys tuning in to another Fall Obsession podcast and showing your support for all of us over here at Fall Obsession. We are a hunting and outdoor media production company. We do a lot of different things, and you can find all those things and everything that we're involved in at our website, fallobsession.com. From there, you can find our hunting shows, our podcast, our educational content. You can access all of our social media pages. Please go follow us on social media. We also have multiple different shows streaming on Carbon TV. That includes this podcast, our show Texas Dirt, TV show Midwest Mindset, our staff-inspired podcast Couch Chats, all that is on Carbon TV as well. So wherever you guys are tuning in or you normally catch your hunting and outdoor content, be sure that you are following Fall Obsession on that platform as well. We always appreciate it. And if you represent your own hunting or outdoor brand or organization in the industry, and you guys think you might be interested in partnering with Fall Obsession, becoming a part of our podcast family, and advertising your brand in this segment, you can reach me at fallobsession.com/podcast. There's a form on there that you can fill out, and we can talk details after that. That's all I got. We're going over to the episode and our conversation with Todd right now. You guys are listening to another Fall Obsession podcast.
Oh, you got her, dude. She's down.
Let's go.
Dude, I just shot a deer of a lifetime.
Freaking smoked him.
One with nature, and if you're a believer, one with God.
Definitely gets your heart pumping. Boy, you are in trouble.
Fall Obsession Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another Fall Obsession podcast episode. My name is Sam, and I am hosting you guys once again. Thanks for tuning in. I'm on here with our Fall Obsession staff manager from Michigan, Todd Sellen. Welcome back to the show, Todd.
Hey, Sam, what's up? How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to be podcasting with you a little. Yeah, I was gonna say it's good to be podcasting with you a little bit. I enjoy our I call them personally our in-house podcast. We're podcasting with our own people from our staff and everything. I love podcasting with guests from other places, but there's always that just at home feel you get podcasting with people that and spend time with. So
Exactly. Yeah, it's always fun just to get together with staffers and just hang out and talk and have fun.
Yeah, for sure. I actually looked it up right before this episode because I was like, man, when was the last time that I recorded a show with you? And it was actually, I think we recorded it back in November. It was episode 165. It was right after you and I both lost a deer on the same day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I guess, time flies and we're 15 episodes past that now, but it doesn't seem like that long ago, but that was the last time we recorded an episode. And then looking back into the whole year, before that and before last, I know we're coming up on turkey season, before last turkey season, or in between now and then, we only recorded that 165 episode and another episode about elite archery. Those are the only two podcasts we recorded since last turkey season. It doesn't seem like that.
Well, I was gonna say, I think we did one when I was in Gulf Shores after hunting with Kendra, right? We did a podcast.
So
that was probably the last one, right?
Yeah, so we did a podcast last year, 147, about that hunt with Kendra and had Kendra on the show with us, talking about that. But since then, we did the elite archery and then that one about losing deer, and those are the only two we've done since. We talk so often, it doesn't seem like that, but I guess that's the last time we recorded.
It's daily. multiple times a day.
Yeah.
Usually. So
yeah.
Hey, so good news, right? Your deer showed back up on camera, right?
Man, I'm 90% confident. Like, I'm 90% confident. And I don't remember if I've talked about it on the show or not. Obviously, if guys want the story on losing those deer, us losing deer on the same day in two different states, they can go listen to 165. But toward the end of the season, when we started having a few bucks start showing up again, Nick and I are constantly sending each other trail cam pics, and Nick's sending me pictures like, is this him? Is this him? Is this him from his cameras? And I'm like, no, that's not it. And finally, he sends me one of a buck in the background, and it's not even is this him question. It's just, hey, there's deer at the stand. It's at the camp stand where I shot him. and I'm looking at that buck. I'm like, dude, that deer's like identical to him, like rack size and everything. That looks like him. But he was far enough away for the camera, I couldn't confirm like a wound on him from arrow impact. Again, identical to the deer, and gives me that confidence that, man, that very well could be him, but I can't say with 100% confidence, yep, there's where my arrow hit, that's him, he's back. So I'm staying optimistic, I'm staying optimistic that it's him.
Same here. I think I sent you and Nick the picture saying, hey, he showed up on camera.
Yeah.
But again, 90% sure, because when he was in front of my camera, he was on the opposite side of the side I shot him on, so I couldn't see if he actually had a healed wound.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, he looked exactly like the one I shot. And then when we were down in Texas on our crane hunt, I had a buddy hunting the property, late season doe, and he said that, hey, I was walking across your field and I found an arrow. I really? He goes, yeah, I think it's one of your arrows. A deep impact? I said, yep, it's one of my arrows.
Yeah.
I said, did it have a red tip on it? My red rage? I had a red rage on it that time. He's like, yeah, it sure does. I'm like, yep, that's the one I hit that deer with.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that was cool. So I got my arrow back. Got one of my arrows back. And I still got a turkey running around with an arrow stuck in it somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, optimistic for sure on both our accounts, and I don't know, we'll see. We're about to be in that spring prep, early season prep on the hunting property, and I'll save the details on that and some of our plans for 24. Save that for another episode, but yeah, hopefully I'm hoping that by some means, however it may be, that I get a little bit of closure one way or the other that, yep, that's for sure him, or I don't know, maybe I'll walk up on a dead head in the woods one day and that sucks, but at least I'll know, so. Yeah,
exactly. And that's a big part of it. You just don't know, And so when I saw that deer on camera, thinking that this is the one I shot, I was so excited. I texted you guys right away. Said, yep, I think this is the guy. He showed up. He lived.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was to the point too. So I shot mine the day before rifle season started, and I didn't have any time to take. I was saving my personal days for the bear hunt I went on, and so I didn't have any time to take off. And rifle season started on the 15th, which I believe was like a Thursday this year. It was either a Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
So anyway, my neighbor had shot an 8-point. I said, please tell me it. And I described my buck I hit the night before, because in my mind I'm thinking he's still gimping around wounded. And so he's like, no. He sent me a picture. I'm like, yeah, that's not him.
Yeah.
Just little small rack, 8-point.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the one I shot. Was wide and had mass, and I was like,
Yeah, I'll give Nick I'll poke fun at him a little bit here on the podcast, but he there were a couple times he'd send me a picture like, is this him? And it'd be like a 2 or 3 year old little basket rack 8. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, come on, man, give me a little bit of credit. Like, I'm not gonna shoot a young deer. Come on. But no, I mean, he didn't know what he looked like, so.
Right. But he's trying to make you feel better.
Yeah, he's trying to help me with that closure for sure. Man, you mentioned one thing, and kind of the purpose of this in-house podcast today on some of the stuff we want to talk about. I mentioned before us having a bunch of guests on, and we've had some great shows here recently with some folks from the outdoor industry and the hunting world. But we got a lot of really awesome stuff going on right now at Fall Obsession, as a company, as a team, as staff, all that good stuff. And I never want to muddy down an episode with a guest or about a specific topic, with, at the beginning segment, talking a bunch about, oh, hey, at Fall Obsession, we're doing this, and this, and we got this, and this. I don't want to take away from an episode. That's why I wanted to sit down with you, not just to catch up, but to go through some of the awesome stuff that we've done, that we have going on, and just kind of have that casual, laid back conversation feel with it. But you mentioned, and a good way to lead into it, I think, is you mentioned briefly a moment ago the Texas Sandhill Crane Hunt. So tell us about that and what that was like this year.
So it was different this year. It was completely different. As you know, and as most of our listeners know, we're our weather patterns are screwed up with this El Nino that's affecting all of our weather. Like here in Michigan, for example, we just had 2 70-degree days in the month of February, and we have never had in the history of records, you know, meteorological records, never had a 70-degree day in February, and we had 2 within 2 weeks. So
wow.
We got green grass. I was just telling Sam before we started that in Michigan, I usually don't start mowing until about the middle of May. I could probably go out this weekend and mow. Our grass is green already. So, so with that being said, yeah, the weather patterns really messed our hunt up. We got down there a little bit later than what we did last year. It was about a week later. And the first day, you know, we sat from 7:30 until noon. And at noon, the cranes start. It's crazy. So I found this out this year. What they do is they start tornadoing up, circling up. And what they do is they go as high as they can, and then they go to sleep. They just glide. Let the wind
No
take them
kidding. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I'm like, wow. So they're up there, they tornado up, and then they just sleep. They just glide and sleep until whenever they come back to feed or whatever. But yeah, I didn't know that either. But we were told that by our guide this year. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. So when you see them start tornadoing up, you know the hunt's over because they're going to bed.
So the novice guy in me with that, having never hunted cranes before, my question would be, once they get up there and they start gliding and sleeping, how long do they have until they get down, and how do they all go in the same direction? That's
a good question.
I don't know. I have questions.
So I think obviously once they get up there, the cranes that you see the next day aren't the same cranes that were in that area the night before or the day before, because I'm sure the winds just take them wherever, and then they just go, you know what I mean, wherever the wind takes them, and then they wake up, they come down to feed and you know, do their thing, and then when it's time to go to bed, they tornado back up.
Wow, that's strange. Wow.
So last year we didn't get to experience that because we got out there at 7:00. Legal shooting light was like at 7:10, something like that, and we were done by 7:30. So we didn't get to experience that this year. I think we had 3 volleys the first day, and that was it. Which we had 3 volleys the first day in the year previously, but this year volleys were 1 bird. So we'd have 1 bird come in to decoy, and the 6-7 of us would sit up and shoot it. You know, so needless to say, I've been into a few pellets already when eating my crane. So we weren't getting the numbers in the volleys that we had previously. We had 1 volley of about 8 birds, and we had a volley of 6 birds, and we put 5 of the 6 down.
Wow.
And so after that, we only got 3 more birds the rest of the time, and that was early. So our biggest volley was like the first volley. And so it came in, we put 5 of the 6 birds down, and then the rest of the time, probably from about 8:00 to noon, so a 4-hour period, we only shot 3 birds. In fact, I think I texted you guys that well, it was shortly after the big one too. We had the 8, because I remember texting and saying, hey, we're halfway there, and it's only been an hour and a half in or something like that.
Yeah.
But we didn't shoot another bird after that.
Wow.
So we had the big volley come through at about 8:00. We had another volley of a couple come through. So we shot them probably about quarter after. So it was in a small time frame that we ended up getting our 8. But after that, nothing would come in. And so what was happening was there were a ton of geese in the area, ton of geese. And the year prior to that, we saw 3 geese. We had a pack of speckle bellies come through, a pack of 3 come through, and we tried to call them, and they wouldn't respond to us the year before. This year, we were seeing more geese than we were seeing crane. And so what was happening were the geese were flying over, and the crane would come into decoy, and then they meet up with the geese, and then just go off with them. And so the geese were taking our crane. So the first day we ended up with 8 total crane out of the 16 we could have shot. And then the second day we ended up with another, I want to say 5 or 6. And then that was it. But again, we had volleys right away when they were on top of us right away. But then we had the geese come in. And once the geese started coming in, Then they started matching up with the geese. They started actually coming in. The geese ended up coming into decoys. So our guy was like, "You guys want to turn this into a goose hunt?" I'm like, sure. So we ended up shooting, gosh, I think 12 geese on top of the 5 or 6 crane. And so we shot some speckled bellies. We shot some Canadians. So it turned into it really did turn into a goose hunt. And the big thing with that was the migration. The geese were coming down later, whereas the year before they came down, quite a bit earlier.
Yeah.
They came down later because it was warmer up here in the north later.
Yeah.
And so they didn't migrate down. So still successful. We still came home with some crane meat, which is the best bird meat. I think if you guys have watched our podcast or saw the story, watched our video on the crane hunt, it's the best bird meat we've ever eaten. It seriously tastes just like a steak, tastes like a ribeye. And, it's not just a metaphor, it's actual fact,
Yeah, ribeye of the sky. Really yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really good. So success, not to the same level that we were hoping, but we were still successful. Flipping to the goose hunt, our annual snow goose hunt that we go on in Missouri, we actually should be getting on the road here in the next half hour or so, because Heather's at parent-teacher conferences right now, and our plan originally was to take off when she came home, drive till about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then finish our drive the next day, which would have been tomorrow. However, last week, Squaw Creek had to cancel because the birds had already migrated through the area. I mean, on a Friday night, it was about, it would be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. About 2 weeks ago, they said, hey, we got like an estimated 1.5 million geese in the area right now. It's like, holy cow, that's awesome. That's a huge number. Well, by Monday, he was like, dude, we're down to 500,000. So we lost 500,000 in just a couple days. And then a day later, he's like, we're less than 200,000 now. And he said that with the warm weather, the strong southern wind,
they're going early.
They get up in that wind and they just ride the wind north. And because typically what snow geese do they follow the snow line. Yeah. And we didn't have any snow this year in Michigan. I know the Dakotas didn't have any snow. And so there was no snow line to follow. So they're heading north. They're right now I've read that they're northern South Dakota, southern North Dakota, and some flocks are pushing Canada already. Yeah. So that's way early. And Joe at Squaw Creek, when he called me, he's like, dude, I've never seen it happen this early before in my entire life. And so yeah, the flocks just migrated, and so there's no birds in the area. So we ended up having to cancel our snow goose hunt. So we'll go out on that next year. Sticking with the theme of weather, Kess and I went on that bear hunt in North Carolina. Yeah. And our first day there, we get there on a Sunday. Our hunt was actually supposed to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I had to take off after the Monday hunt, so they allowed us to hunt Sunday as well. And so the issue with it, there was a huge storm that we were in at that time. And they said that because of the time of the year, it wasn't a named storm. They said if it were, I don't know, they said a month earlier than that, it would have been a tropical storm, named tropical storm. And so we were debating. The guy goes, well, we can put you up in a box blind. They're 20, 30 feet. I sent pictures to you, I think, Sam, of the one I said, and it was 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, I was up there.
Yeah. Where I was above the pine trees, the top of the pine trees. He goes, you can sit up there and sway feel uncomfortable or just not go. I'm like, dude, I'm here to hunt. I'll go sit up in there. I don't care. I sit in my tree stand all the time swaying. Yeah. So we hunted our first night in what would have been a named tropical storm in North Carolina. So, and then the last 2 nights. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? This crazy weather that just had a huge impact on our hunting seasons this year. Yeah. And our deer season was still pretty successful, but even that, we didn't have the hard rut we had the year before. We had mature bucks in the middle of the field with young bucks pushing does right by them. This is in the middle of what was supposed to be, prime rut, the heavy rut. And they would just sit there and eat and push a hot doe right by, and they could care less. Yeah. Yeah. And so
I think we talked in our last podcast, or at least I think I mentioned it at some point. We were talking about losing those deer, on how that trip, that hunt where I shot that buck, was it was the last chance basically that I had to hunt any sort of rut activity, and the bucks were chasing a little bit, but it wasn't going hard. And at that
Mhm.
point, like that, after that day specifically, like the weather turned warm, and it was
Yeah.
like any rut activity that was starting to ramp up just kind of fizzled out and everything.
Right.
And just for time constraints, and with me going to Colorado and everything, it was like I didn't get a chance to get back out there until late season. So it yeah, it was definitely an interesting year weather-wise, and different
Mhm.
impacts all over the country for sure. And then yeah, it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Seriously, all over. I mean, and when you're at home, you notice that something's a little different, but you don't know it. But when you, like I said, going to North Carolina, going down to Texas, that Texas really made me realize the impact that weather was having, just because we weren't seeing the cranes that we saw in the mass numbers the year before, and we
Yeah.
weren't getting the opportunities that we had the year before. But we saw the geese. Holy smokes, we saw the geese.
Yeah.
The geese look like almost was comparable to Mound City when we were down in Lubbock. Just the numbers of geese that were down there. So, and then I think I did text you. I know I'm flipping back to the cranes, but what was it last weekend? Last weekend we were up at our cabin, which is about an hour north of where we live. So there's still a little bit of snow on the ground up there, but just in piles. It's not like, you know what I mean? We saw cranes migrating through
Huh.
up northern Michigan, and we're like, oh, we usually don't see cranes until May.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, and it was February, last week or beginning of March. So that was just really crazy. Like already.
Well, I'll
So
definitely, as far as like deer hunting and everything, I'll definitely be interested to see how or if there's any sort of impacts leading into the summer. And I know for us down here in Texas, the question is always, well, are we gonna have a year where we have some decent rain coming in periodically, or are we gonna have another
mhm.
dry year, another drought? And that obviously plays a role, at least for me personally and Nick, on what we're capable of doing, with food plots and other stuff like that.
Right,
So
right.
I need to, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out this year, because the last 2 years have been very dry. I'm hoping that's not the case, but
Sure.
I don't know. The crazier
So
things have
so is
happened.
that right, right? So is that your plan to put food plots? I know you guys are running the feeders last couple years, right? Are you
Yes,
planning on putting food plots on Texas dirt?
yeah. I mean, since we're talking about it real briefly here, the big changes are, one, this year we're keeping feeders going, because I mean that's just Texas. That's just
Yeah.
that's how we
Yeah.
hunt down here. You can judge me for baiting, or whatever you want to think of me, but it's how
Right.
we hunt down here. But we're
Mhm.
switching stuff over this year to gravity systems. I'm actually building our own, and we're going to retrofit all of our existing feeders into
Oh, okay.
gravity fed feeders. We're going to go through more feed, but the biggest problems we had this year were with um, we either had jams in our feeders. It was like every
Oh,
single time that my dad or myself would go out there, some of our feeders, or one of our feeders, multiple feeders, were jammed, like the actual spinning mechanism
yeah.
for
The spinner.
dispensing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Or we had a motor go out one time, we had bad batteries, we had solar panels go out, which led to dead batteries, and I think we only had one feeder get knocked over this year, which was great. I count that as a win. And then we had fences get busted a couple of times. Fences, feeder get knocked over. That's just part of it. But I got tired of every single time me or Dad would go out there. It's, oh, this stand hadn't been throwing. This stand hadn't
Yeah.
been throwing. This feeder's broken. This solar panel's not charging. So we're trying to eliminate all of those issues, and our solution is gravity. Just a gravity fed
Gotcha.
feeder. So no batteries, no
Mhm.
dispensers, no motors. Again, we'll go through more feed, but that's the price that we're going to pay this year, at least, to try and have it a little bit easier on us and keep the consistency, going. You asked
Sure.
about food plots in that regard, and for us with our food plots, it's more going to be, there's a couple different areas that we kind of already have eyeballed, that if we can,
Mhm.
we'll put just a small fence around them. Just take a little harrow or something behind a four-wheeler and try to plant it with some weather to throw some seed out there. And I talked to, in a recent podcast, I talked to Mike Teepee about it, or I can't remember if we talked about it while we were recording or if it was after, but we talked about, just me being able to bring water out there in the event that there's a drought, and some ideas for how we can try to make that work. So those are all things that we're considering and thinking about. We're going to throw some seed out there, if nothing else, just to see what happens, basically. But we're doing that. We're going to put some mock scrapes pretty much on most of my stands. I'm going to, you've been down there, Todd. You see how it's not just, one little lane that you're in. There's a wider area that you have a visual on. So while our feeder or food plot may be over here, we're also going to try to somewhere in the works of the area incorporate in a mock scrape and, stuff like that to try and, give us another reason to hunt there and the bucks another reason to frequent that area opposed to just being food driven, So
Yeah, exactly.
so
Exactly.
all things that we're considering, and again, just trying to make it better. I've talked before about the anticipation we had going into the 23 season and the quality of bucks we were seeing and how it was just kind of underwhelming when it was all said and done. So we're hoping that we can get some good momentum going through the summer into next fall with 24 and keep it going. That's the goal. So
So my year was, I didn't see the bucks that I saw the year before. It seemed like I had, several shorter bucks around my property the year before. This year I had that nice 8-point. The one I shot was kind of a neat little, probably, I don't know, 3-year-old that was palmated on one side. So that's why I ended up shooting it and just not letting it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually did let it walk a couple times before. Then I was playing it over in my mind. I'm like, that's right around the age range that I like to shoot. And it's got a cool little palmation on the one side. So I ended up shooting him. He gave me a shot. So I think, no, that was the second year. I shot a doe first. But what I did realize was that we had some younger bucks and we still had some bucks. My batteries went out on my camera, so I had to get out back and change them. But I still had some bucks on camera prior to my batteries going out. They still hadn't shed their horns yet. And just small bucks. The big thing I noticed, though, was the doe population. The doe population was ridiculous. I would go out there and see like 50 deer across the field with maybe 3 bucks. The rest were all does. And so that's really what our hunting season turned into, doe patrol.
Yeah.
I shot that palmated one, and then I had the crack at that 8-point. But other than that, I ended up shooting, I think, 4 does. And Heather shot 2 does. My oldest daughter shot 2 does. So that was kind of our focus. So we were able to fill the freezer for sure. That was one of our goals that we had talked about going into the season, was just being able to fill the freezer, which we obviously did. I mean, and we were able to even donate a few of our deer, Michigan Hunters for Hunger, or Against Hunger. So I donated one, Sportsmen's Against Hunger. And then a guy that I used to teach with who's retired, he can't really hunt anymore. And I actually shot him. I shot a deer shortly after my surgery. I think it was less than a week after my surgery. That's what it was. So I shot the deer because I got really sick the next day. I thought I overdid it just by hauling the deer and stuff. But shot the deer, and then he was looking for a deer, and so I donated it to him, and he was very happy. Nice big doe. So the does that we were actually harvesting were mature does. I mean, I had one doe that was like 140 pounds field dressed. So that was a nice big doe. It was probably 170 pound live weight. Yeah. So,
golly,
the doe that we were shooting were healthy and were mature. But we had a ton out here, and so I'm hoping that we start to see some impact. We start to see it balance out a little bit more next year. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I know talking about deer hunting in the 23 season, I know for our entire team of pro and field staffers, the admin team, it was as a whole, it was a good year. We've talked about the individual specific challenges that we may have faced, but as a whole, It was awesome to see some of the deer that were hitting the ground in all over the country from various staffers, seeing that hard work pay off. Yeah, I'm playing in my mind right now all the kill shots that we saw come through. There were a bunch
that was
of people.
awesome. It was, you get a whole bunch. So comparing this to last year, remember how last year we had a streak of consecutive days going? We didn't really have that streak this year, but what we were getting were, 3, 4, 5 submissions in a day. We get a bunch of them, and then we might go a day or two, and then get a bunch more, and then go a day, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, every year's carried a theme almost in regards to that. I think you said before it was like 18 days or something in 2022 that either a staffer or a family, like immediate family member of a staffer, put a deer on the ground for consecutive days. And yeah, it was like this year everybody was killing deer on the same day.
Right. Or hitting deer.
Or losing deer on the same day. Could have killed a deer on the same day. So
right, exactly. So that was really cool, like you said. And then we had some, we had a few other harvests mixed in with hogs. I know Peyton shot a hog. I know Tyler shot a hog.
Yep.
And then some other just different species that were kind of mixed in as well. So
yeah,
that was really cool.
It's always a mixing pot. It's always a variety, and that's one cool thing, for anybody that follows our page that they're going to see is, yes, there are the podcasts, there are the shows, there are the videos that we're very consistent with, and that the constants on our platform, I should say. But then you're going to get to see all these different experiences from all over the country, and you never know what's going to pop up next, because you get somebody that's deer hunting up north, and somebody else is killing hogs or killing coyotes somewhere else, and then somebody goes to Canada, or somebody goes to Africa, or whatever it might be, and they have an experience down there. Drew's going to Argentina here this month.
Is it right now?
No,
I think he said he couldn't go to the goose hunt because I thought he was going to be in Argentina.
So I know when we were trying to figure out logistics on the goose hunt, he was on the fence on going or not because it fell at the same time, but his Argentina hunt is right after it. So, because that was what he was trying to weigh, is should I go on the goose hunt just to turn around and then go to Argentina, or should I not? That was one of the things he was having to consider. So I think it's either next week, or at the time this podcast is airing, it's probably right now at the time this podcast drops. Sure. But March 24, he's going to Argentina on a stag hunt. Yeah, up there. So he'll definitely be on the show here in the very near future to talk about that. Hopefully a successful hunt with that, because that's an awesome experience for sure. He's had that hunt on the books for a couple years, I think. So
yeah, I know he's been working on it. He hasn't been on a podcast in a while, though, has he?
No, it's been a minute, and now that since I have it pulled up here, I might as well look it up and see how long it's been. That way I can call him out. I think
the last one I remember is when Drew, Andy, and I sat down at Drew's house.
I just looked it up. That's it. Episode 142, when y'all talked about bird hunting and waterfowl, upland game, all that kind of stuff up there. That's the last time. So.
Birds and donkeys in my house.
Yeah, exactly. While you were gone, I forgot about that. That was funny. Yeah. But no, switching gears a little bit into what we're getting into, because obviously turkey season is on the horizon here. It's already opened in some states like Florida and everything. So and at the time this episode's coming out, I'm sure there's more seasons that have opened up, but it's it's hot on the hot off the press right now that turkey season's here, and it seems like deer season just ended, and it's already time to chase some birds. So,
and honestly, those months between deer season and turkey season typically seem long anyway. Just because, for me anyway, because we're in the middle of winter. I really don't like snow that much. You know what I mean? And I say that, and I live in Michigan, but. Well, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But at any rate, like you said, the time. All of a sudden, we're looking at turkey season coming up. We're looking at spring break coming up, and usually from a teaching standpoint, once you hit spring break, you blink and the year's over with.
Yeah.
So we started our last quarter. So tomorrow's the last day of the third quarter. We start our last quarter on Monday. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it's just flying by. But yeah, Audrey got us on the board the other day. She
Yeah.
shot a nice time, really nice time. Looked like about 11.5-inch beard.
11.5-inch beard was the official tally. I think the Spurs measured, according to their sheet, it was 1 3/4 and 1 1/4 was the other one.
Oh,
So
okay.
they were. I
Gotcha.
mean, it was a mature bird. It was a good tom for sure. No doubts about
Yeah.
that.
For sure, yeah. That's geez, I think that's Pope and Young, actually.
It might be. I don't
I
know.
think because I think for Pope and Young, the measurement of the beard and the spurs have to equal 12. 12 or more. I think that's a minimum standard. So yeah, she should check that out.
Might have to, yeah. On the note of scoring though, with that and that kind of her kill is kind of my segue also into one awesome thing that we got going on here at Fall Obsession this
Right.
year. We did it last year. I think we skipped 22, but we did it in 21. This is the third time we've done this, and that is our turkey hunt competition here at Fall Obsession. So but it's online as far as how you register and how you become a part of it. You don't have to physically travel somewhere or pay for a non-resident license or go jump through any hoops like that. You can hunt on, and I know you know this, Todd. I'm saying this for our listeners. This is my plug for the show, but you can hunt on your own hunting land or your own ground, wherever it is that you hunt. Hunt birds. The only thing you have to do is you have to register before you kill your bird. That's the only caveat to that. But once you register, go hunt wherever you hunt, and if you kill a bird, you submit it in the turkey hunt competition. And we have an online way that you can submit that and send us photo proofs of all your measurements and weights and all that kind of stuff. And then we take those measurements, those weights, spurs, beard. There's opportunities for bonus points and stuff, and we assign your bird basically on all the data a point value. And then that goes toward our leaderboard, and simple as that. Person with the most points. I think the cutoff is May 18th is when we're drawing the line in the sand for the season to end. We'll pick a winner at that point, and we got some awesome prizes for our winners. So every time that you register, you're helping out the cash pots. We have cash prizes for first, second, and third place, and the amount that we pay out is based on the number of hunters that register. So for every hunter that registers, those cash pots just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You can register at any time. Like I said, as long as you just register before you kill your bird. If your hunting season has already started and you're just now hearing about this and you're like, I want to do that, go register. fallobsession.com. It's all over the website. You can go to the page, and it explains all the details, all the contest rules and stuff like that. So cash pots, and then we got some event partners as well. Hoot Camo is throwing in a $200 gift card. Yep, Todd's rocking some Hoot Camo in this podcast video, but Hoot Camo is throwing in a $200 gift card for the winner, and a $100 gift card for second place and third place. And an organization called Turkeys for Tomorrow, a conservation organization, is giving all three winners, first, second, and third place, free memberships to their organization to be a part of helping make sure that there's turkeys for tomorrow, that there's turkeys for seasons to come, and not to get on a rabbit trail, but I know there's been a general decline in turkey populations across North America, in recent years. So organizations like this are very important to ensure that we still have these species for generations to come. So
Exactly.
some awesome prizes in that sense. We're also doing a raffle on the side. So when you go register, you can purchase raffle tickets, or you can get one ticket, you can get 10 tickets, however many tickets you want to get when you register. Or if you registered and you didn't get raffle tickets and you change your mind, like, man, I want to go back and get a raffle ticket, we do have that option. You can do that. But we're raffling off a Texas hog hunt down here. And
hang on, you and Nick, or just you, or
me and Nick? Come on, we'll put you on a board this summer.
That's worth its weight in gold right there.
Yeah, exactly. So if you got an itch to hunt when there's no other species in season where you're at, potentially come down to Texas and hunt hogs with us. You can win that raffle. And then we'll have 2 raffle winners basically from the same pool of raffle tickets. One for the hog hunt, and then Rocky Boots donated a pair of boots as well that we're going to raffle off to one winner. So plenty of awesome opportunities to win some different stuff this year with this contest. Audrey's the segue into that because she and her husband Tyler, they both entered in the contest. They're both registered, and Audrey is the very first registered hunter in our contest to kill a bird this year. So she's already on
she's
the
in the
board.
lead.
She's the one and only in the league because at the time we're recording this episode, she's the only one so far that's killed a bird. Which Florida, having that super early season, they're quick on the board. So some seasons might not open till next month, and so
ours doesn't.
Yeah. So don't look at the leaderboard and be intimidated like how are these people already killing birds? There's still a lot of season left to be had and a lot of opportunities for you to get on there. And like I said, there's plenty of bonus points opportunities too. We give bonus points out for, double beards, multiple spurs on the same leg. If it's your first turkey, if you film your hunt, we give bonus points for that. So lots of different opportunities to catch somebody in the lead, even if you kill a bird that is maybe just a smidge below them. We try to make it as competitive as we can and give everybody equal opportunity. So yeah, that's the turkey hunt contest in a nutshell, and you guys can go to fallobsession.com/hunt competition to learn more about it, or if you forget that part, at least go to fallobsession.com or our social media. It is plastered everywhere. You can't
it's all
miss
over
it.
the place.
Yeah, you can't miss it. So
no jakes though. We'll save those for Andy. Andy likes to shoot the jakes.
We posted the initial promo like, hey, announcing our turkey hunt competition, and I don't even remember who it was, but somebody got on there and was like, is Andy allowed to participate? I don't know who this person was, but Andy's obviously left a lasting impression in his local area in the turkey hunting world. Now we have a video on our YouTube channel. You guys should go check out from years back. Andy, I think it was the first turkey he killed with a bow. At least I don't know if it's first ever, but it was first with a bow for sure. And he shot it with the decap from Solid Broadheads, I think, and just complete decap that turkey at 5 yards. The video is priceless because he's just screaming his head off. He's so excited. I got a huge kick out of that. Andy's a good dude.
yeah. It's very entertaining. With that goose hunt being canceled, that's the biggest thing that we're gonna miss out on here. Being able to hang out with those guys. So
and that's what you hate, about plans changing or hunts canceling and stuff. Because we all want to have a good time, we all want to be successful, but what makes a hunting trip, as you know, good and well, Todd, is the people you spend it with. And any fall, I have yet to hear of a Fall Obsession hunt camp where people did not have one of the best times they've ever had. So
exactly. So the next thing we got coming up, Kendra's putting together a turkey hunt again, end of March. So March 30th is when their season opens.
Same here.
Private land only, and she's got several parcels of private land that she can spread staffers out. So, we have a group of staffers right now that are looking into that, and that'd be fun to get another hunt going in Georgia. So, and I tell people all the time that Kendra and Ethan are like world-class turkey callers. And, man, they are.
This is like this is their specialty. Like, they're great hunters in general, but at least my impression, from what I know of them and getting to know them and from the virtual, hunting world here. Turkey hunting is like what they specialize in.
What they do.
Yeah,
exactly. They're so knowledgeable of turkeys and their habits and stuff like that. And so I learned so much just spending that one day with them. It actually wasn't even a full day because I ended up shooting my bird right around noon. So but in that time, I learned so much from them. So
that was that we talked about at the beginning. That was that last year's podcast that we recorded. Was that hunt that you got to go down there? Kind of the same hunt, I guess, that she's trying to put on again was what you took advantage of last year and got to go down there and kill a bird and everything. And it was a super, super awesome experience for you for sure. I was going to ask you if I don't know if you're planning on going on that specifically, but if you were going to do any turkey hunting this year at all, what
Yeah.
your plans were.
So yeah, I'm meeting up with Kendra on the 30th, and so right now I'm going. Tyler and Audrey said that they were coming up from Florida, and then we have a few others that are considering how they're interested. Kimmy, for example, she's not very far from there, so
Yeah.
she's thinking about coming over. So that would be really cool. Anthony, I talked to Anthony about it. He said he's never shot a turkey before, but
Oh, really? Wow.
and so he's interested. So it's really cool because we would get some new staffers that we've never sure camp with in camp. So that would be really nice. Said to Heather, you know how cool that'd be to get a couch chat with those guys going, because they've never, and I don't even remember the last time. I think Kimmy has been on a podcast, but I don't know about the others, And so
I know Kim has, Kendra has, but yeah, and obviously you and Heather, but I don't think anybody else in that group you mentioned has been on a podcast before. And when you were listing off the names, I was like, man, those are all, majority of those folks are from like the Southeast. I know Anthony's Northeast, but
Northeast, yeah.
our Midwest group of staffers is an awesome group of people, and they're kind of, I don't know, that it's just the way that the cards fell as Fall Obsession has grown. It's just been that there's been a core group of people in the Midwest that have kind of blossomed and grown together. And so you're listing off these names. I'm like, man, that's a bunch of Southeastern staff members.
Right.
I would love to be able to see the same thing happen down there in that region. That's going to be
that would be
awesome if
so
y'all can
awesome.
get that together. So
Yeah, that'd be incredible, because like you said, we have such a great time when we get together, and just being able to, you see people all the time in our meetings virtually, right?
Right.
But it's a little different when you meet them in person. There's nothing like meeting somebody and just meeting them face to face, and it's always like you've known them. So Cass and I, when we went on the bear hunt in North Carolina, we met up with Kimmy in Virginia the night before and had dinner with her and stuff. And again, it was just awesome. It was like we've known each other forever. You know?
Well, and that's how I know, not this last year, but the year before, like when y'all were leaving the crane camp, I met you guys in Wichita Falls, and we stopped and got a burger and everything. And that was my first time to meet, Tyler and Delaney and, some of this crew, Kess, in person and everything. And, same deal. You felt like everybody, you felt like you knew everybody. I remember Delaney said to me, first thing she says, "Oh, you're taller than I thought you were." But
because you're always sitting down when I see you.
Yeah, exactly. But and then this last year, me getting to go to Colorado with Tim and Mike Teepee. I've met Tim before in person. He came down to Texas, on our staff hunt in 2019, the very first one.
Yep.
And I've never met Mike in person. And it's like when you walk through when that person walks through the door and you actually lay eyes on him, it's just like, oh, that's him. Like he's actually like this dude that lives in Michigan that I've talked to for years is standing here now. This is awesome.
Exactly.
It's really cool. And you hit off, and I know Mike and we for sure hit it off, found a lot more in common than we thought that we had with each other, for sure. And he called me this morning even. He called me this morning to ask me a question about his Midwest Mindset show that he has on Carbon TV. And, just call me for one simple question. We talked for like an hour. We talked about everything.
That's the way it seems it always works, right? So I'm texting people all the time. And like I said, usually you send a text out, and there are times where I'm on my phone for a good portion of the day, just texting back and forth with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and like you said, when you get on the phone and actually talk to somebody, it's even when you're trying to have those hard conversations, you know what I mean? It's like you get on there and it's not really a hard conversation, you know what I mean? Because we still, in the end, we're still a business, and we still have some responsibilities that we have to follow through, from as a staffer standpoint. And so sometimes you do have to, kind of like your own kids, right? Not that I'm saying the Fall Obsession staff people are my kids. You know what I mean? But it's that comparison. You love them to death, but there are times that you have to get after them to put their dishes in the dishwasher, or you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
The same type of thing, and it's just so easy to communicate with everybody.
I know.
So.
And that's what it is. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. our staff program, I'm really proud of what it's become. I'm really proud of, what you and Heather have done, and Tyler and the other crew to help nurture and grow this. But it is so much more than just, a name on a website or a discount code, if you will. It is it's family is what it is, and y'all have really tried to brand that into our culture here at Fall Obsession on that family aspect, and you've done it masterfully, in my opinion. And I think anybody that joins our team is going to see that right away, that we carry a label of pro staff or field staff, but it's not like being and nothing against them, but it's not like being a pro or field staffer for these larger companies, where you're again a name in the system and they give you a discount code and all right, create some content, have at it. No, there's a much more personal level that comes to that. And I know you and Heather both work hard to help maintain that and keep that going, but it shows for sure the difference in what this team has. It's a lot different.
We appreciate it. We appreciate the all the work that you guys do as well. You guys give us the resources to be able to do what we're able to do, and the knowledge and that sort of thing. So, but I think I mentioned to you back in my interview in 2018, you said, why do you want to come on as a field staffer for Fall Obsession? I said, because I want to meet people.
Yeah.
I got buddies around here I can hunt with anytime I want, but I want to meet people out in Colorado. I want to meet people down in Texas. I want to meet people in Florida and Nova Scotia. I want to meet people and be able to share the same passion I have for the outdoors with them. And not only that, but also have the opportunity to go hog hunting in Texas, for example, or turkey hunting in Georgia, or bear hunting. I wouldn't have those opportunities if it were just me and some buddies around here.
I was gonna say, a lot of my most memorable hunting experiences I would not have gotten to experience without a Fall Obsession family. And like the top ones that come to mind, as far as from a Fall Obsession hunt aspect, are the staff hunt in 2019. It's just cool to be a part of the first staff hunt, but then that's something that wouldn't happen without Fall Obsession. That was 100% a Fall Obsession deal. Getting to go hunt with Drew up in Montana, I wouldn't have known Drew if it weren't for Fall Obsession. I wouldn't have been able to go up there and hunt pronghorn or kill a pronghorn up there. I wouldn't have been able to go to Colorado. I wouldn't have known Tim. I wouldn't have gotten, and one of the most memorable ones, Todd, is you coming down here and hunting just a pig that I could go kill a pig anytime I want, but getting to have you come down here too and, see your excitement, get to experience something new like that, like I'm never gonna forget that. That was cool. And those are all things that, again, to the point, wouldn't have happened without this team. So
without Fall Obsession, right? And that's and so I know a lot of our staffers feel the same way. So it's just that common passion that we have, and it's turned into a family. It's turned into a brother and sisterhood. And it's really, really cool.
It goes to show too, just the common brother and sisterhood that is formed under hunting in the outdoors. Just the umbrella of hunting in the outdoors. Because you look across our team, you look at the 30 some odd people that we have on roster, and then even just the family and friends we have beyond that in the industry. And so many people that all have different occupations, they all have different backgrounds, they all have different life experiences, but we're all celebrating the one thing that we have in common, and that's what's bringing all of us together, and that's what's awesome.
And people say, "Why do you hunt? You're just out there to kill things." No, I'm not. This is why I hunt.
Yes.
Harvesting animals is just a small part of it. It honestly is, because if you think about it, you do all this work to build up, and then when you get that opportunity and you harvest an animal, it's just a tiny fraction of a period of time, But what are those lasting memories? What's the in between? The in between is getting to know people and hanging out with people, and that's what hunting is about. It's coming up with a game plan and creating your food plots and designing your food plot to make sure that you do get that small opportunity. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, it's just there's people who say that, people who just say you're just out there to kill stuff or whatever. I always try to very tactfully use that as an educational opportunity because obviously as hunters we have to represent hunting well, but not just in the instances you mentioned with family and the hard work and the reward from that hard work that goes into it and everything, but then also the conservation side, and we won't get into that in this podcast, but how important that is, and all of that wildlife conservation, that is so driven by hunters and people who do hunt. Like, they care about the future of what they're hunting, and they're investing in it through conservation as well. And I got some podcasts in the works coming up in the next few episodes that are going to hit that hard. But that's just as important as well. So,
because think about it, how many arrows do you shoot into a bag or a target?
Countless.
Throughout the year.
Countless.
Yeah, countless. And then during deer season, how many arrows do you actually shoot at animals? Maybe 3, right? Maybe 3 if you're having a good year.
Yep.
And so again, that fraction of time, the fun part is the shooting part, right? Then so I have more joy just going out and getting my bow out and just shooting into a target, as opposed to, not that I don't feel the adrenaline when you have the opportunity to, like you said, reap the benefits of your hard work, right? With the harvest, but everything else that goes into it, it's the stereotypical you're just out there to kill animals. No, I'm not. I'm out there to relax. I'm out there to decompress from a stressful day. I'm out there to just enjoy being out in the outdoors. I'm out there to play that chess game with Mother Nature, because trying to build up to that one chance you get a shot. I mean, I've sit on stands. I usually sit on stand countless hours, and only to get that one quick 10 to 15 second window, right?
I listened to a podcast today. It was on Cameron Haynes' Keep Hammering podcast show, and he had NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers on his show. And a very rich and in-depth podcast, very intriguing to me. I encourage many people to go check it out. It was inspiring to me. But they were talking about discipline. They were talking about becoming a master at something and all the work that goes in. Talking about, and they brought up bow hunting. Rodgers is obviously from a football background, but they brought up bow hunting, and they were talking about how many shots go into a bag, how much practice goes into one moment, one split second where you are doing everything in your power to be able to execute the perfect shot. Yeah, it's insane.
And so, like I said, there's more to hunting, because hanging out with Fall Obsession people, you spend way more time doing that. Like you said, texting, phone calls, constant contact, daily. Yeah. And that's what I really, really enjoy, in the hunting world. That's what I really enjoy, Yes, we create content. We do all the things that we do for Fall Obsession, but we're able to share that with the people that have the same passion as us. And that's what it's all about,
Very true. So, absolutely.
So,
well, I know we're getting close to that 1 hour mark here with our conversation and everything. And we could probably keep talking about this for hours if we kept going. For
sure.
Good to get back on here and catch up with you for sure. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you mentioned Hoot, and like you said, I'm rocking the hat right now. I actually got one of their shirts on, and I wear it daily. Yeah, it's so comfortable. It is so comfortable, and so. They're one of our sponsors for the turkey hunt. You said one of the gifts are a $200 gift certificate. You can get a really good quality piece of clothing with that $200 gift certificate.
Yeah, so or multiple. You guys are,
yeah. So if you're on the fence on whether you want to sign up for this turkey hunt, I mean, that's worth it in itself.
Man,
very, very comfortable.
So many. Clothing. So to give people an idea, like registration, if all you did was register, $30 to register. And again, that's going towards us being able to operate this contest and then the winner's pots. That's what you're paying for. So hopefully, if you win, you get definitely more than that in your money back, as well as these other prizes that we mentioned and stuff. Raffle tickets are $10 each, and I think we drop, if you buy 10, which would normally be $100. I think we give it to you for 80. We knock $20 off the price if you buy 10. So, but $10 each for if you just want to snag a raffle ticket too. So, fallobsession.com/hunt-competition is where you go for that. Or like I said, just go to fallobsession.com if you're in doubt, and you'll find it. It's all over the place. I was also real quick, Todd, too. I was going to mention.
Yep.
Ask you, I guess I should say, for our listeners' sake, what if folks are hearing us talk about Fall Obsession and our family and our staff, they want to join the team, they want to learn more about it, what's the process for that?
Well, all you got to do is there's an interest form on the website. All you got to do is type in, you'll go to the staffer section on the website, and there's a form that you fill out. And then I get notification right away when somebody shows interest. I think you do too, right, Sam?
I get notified when you notify me. So
gotcha.
when you became staff manager and we switched all that over and stuff, you get the initial notification that somebody's expressed interest in joining the team. So
gotcha. So yeah, I'm pretty punctual. That's just kind of my personality. I like to get things done quickly. And so when I get that notification, I send out applications, and then all you gotta do is fill the application out, send it back. And then as admin, we look at it, we do our research on it. And if we feel you're a good fit, then we move you on to the next stage, which is usually sending in some pieces of content, some original content that you would create, that you would submit to Fall Obsession. And then we review that as well. And we think that you're somebody that we would like to talk to, then that's when we move on to the final stage of setting up an interview. So we usually get new applicants every week, and we're getting a ton. And obviously it fluctuates with different seasons, but like just before hunting season, we were getting, I would say 10 a week, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a really easy process. Like I said, just go to the website, fallobsession.com, go to the staffer, and it says to become a staffer. And then that's the interest form that you fill out. And then I get notification, and then we just kind of go from there. And so really easy. And like you said, all you got to do is just, one big thing though that we look for is to make sure that you have social media pages, because we are a social media production company. So if you don't have a social media page and you want to become a staffer, maybe you should start a social media page and then become more active in that realm.
Yeah.
And then just like I said, once you get that social media page up, and then also just be willing to have fun and be flexible, and that's what our emphasis and sorry, I just had another thought too. We're talking about staffers and stuff. We have that new, it's not really, I don't know if it's a series, Hot Seat.
Yeah. So it's basically, and you guys kind of came up with it, but we're doing just a little, it's like a social media series, a reel series, if you will, just going through and, interviewing each individual staffer, and you learn more about them and kind of sharing their story, because we have a lot of staff members, a lot of content creators on our team. Some of which are in the, I don't want to refer to it as spotlight, but some are seen more in videos and photos and stuff, because that's just kind of their niche and where they do most of their production in, and others aren't. So we're trying to make sure that everybody gets a chance to kind of share their story and share their outdoor journey with the world. So
yeah, exactly. The whole concept came again out of Crane Camp, because that's where we think of our ideas.
Yep, good ideas come from Hunt Camp for sure.
Yeah, exactly. JJ, Tyler's wife, asked if we've ever considered doing a hot seat. And that was right about the same time that you and I were having discussions on how do we highlight our staffers? How do we get our audience to understand our staffers deeper than just the outdoors men and women that they are? Right. And so when JJ and I were talking about it, I'm like, light bulb moment. This is how we can do it. And so hot seat is really meant for our audience to get to know us deeper than just somebody who goes out in the wood and hunts and fishes and spends time outdoors and creates content based on that. So that's the whole purpose of this. And it looks like, looking at the schedule, we're going to have about one a month or one every other week or something like that.
Yeah.
So So again, if you want to become a staffer, so I know I'm flipping back and forth here, but I'm having different thoughts too.
Yeah.
So make sure you have a social media page. Make sure you're active on that social media page. And then that's a big thing. That's a big thing that we look at when considering whether we should move somebody forward as well. So,
Yeah.
So don't hesitate. If you're interested, come join us. Come
Absolutely.
fill it out.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the family aspect and you know the benefits and what you can get out of being a staff member, a team member. To your point with the social media, we at the same time we're looking for content creators. We're looking for people who have a niche, whether it's videos, you might be photography, you might be very good or experienced or passionate about, you know, writing educational articles, whatever the stuff might be. You know, we're looking for people who are dedicated in that sense and willing to contribute to the platform in that sense. So there's a lot of benefits in regards to partner and sponsor discount codes in the industry that you guys can be able to take advantage of by being on the team. A lot of hunting opportunities by being on the team. The flip side of that is in return we want content creators to be on our team that are passionate about the outdoors and sharing their obsession, you know. So
Absolutely.
but
And speaking of that, man, we have of course every region represented, but we would love to get more staffers out west. We would absolutely love that. Right now we got 2, I think. We got Tony
absolutely.
and Tim.
Yeah, so we definitely have plenty of people that hunt out west that'll travel out there. The Midwest, the Southeast, I think are our beefiest regions. We got a lot of good people that are in there, and then the South and the Northeast are growing. But out there in the western region, the western side of the United States, if you are from there, hunt out there, love it out there, create content out there, come on. We it's an open invitation to apply and let's talk. So
Yep. And we're not mean. It's pretty painless when you have to deal with us for the most part. So.
Yeah, we try to make it as painless as we can for sure. Well, Todd, it was good to catch up with you on here and knock out another podcast with you. We won't let it be so long this next time, but thanks for coming on and catching us up and talking just a little, I don't know, a little shop talk about Fall Obsession. It was a good time.
Yeah, lots of. It's always a good time talking with you. And like I said, I mean, I'm sure we'll probably text in the next day or two, or even talk on the phone if we have, you know.
Yeah, we'll probably talk more after we stop hitting record on this podcast. So
exactly. It's always good catching up with you guys. So
absolutely,
I keep telling Heather we got to get down there and meet the whole Texas group. You know what I mean? So I haven't even met Nick when I came down with you. Nick was supposed to join us, but he was deployed. So
yeah. He did get on a wildland deployment like the day before you were flying down, or it was right before. So it was kind of sudden. So he's always got stuff going on for sure. He's a busy guy. They're trying to sell their house right now and get moved.
Oh,
so yeah, they're busy seasons of life for everybody for sure. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, Todd, thank you again, man. Appreciate it. It was good to catch up with you.
Yeah, always. And stay obsessed.
Stay obsessed. For our Fall Obsession listeners, thank you all for tuning in. Whatever platform you're listening on, if you haven't already, be sure that you will have liked, followed, subscribed, notifications turned on. Hit all the buttons, whatever the options are on whatever platform. Be sure you guys get notified every time we drop a new episode on Monday mornings. Follow us on social media. Hit up the website, fallobsession.com. Go register for the turkey hunt competition. Go sign up to be on the staff team. Pick you up a hat, a shirt, a sticker, something like that. We got a bunch of cool stuff for you guys to do on fallobsession.com. Watch our shows on Carbon TV. We got so much stuff going on. Lots for you guys to check out. But thank you guys for tuning in to another podcast, and I'll be back again next Monday with y'all. We'll catch you then.